More than 10 years after the occasions of the principal film, the film starts with Jake Tarnish portraying his unassuming and tranquil life as head of the Amatakaya faction and raising a family with his significant other Neytiri, which incorporates his children Netam and Lok and his little girl Tuk, his embraced little girl Kiri, brought into the world from effortlessness Augustine's lethargic Navi symbol, and a human kid named Bug, the child of Miles Quaritch. Notwithstanding, every one of the kids blend and mingle well with one another, including Insect, whom Kiri is friendly with despite the fact that he is a human. Insect doesn't embrace his human legacy and feels more lean to Navi culture and customs. They have a typical existence until one day they notice an odd star in the night sky. Sadly, they understand it's a RDA space transport with people getting back to Pandora to colonize it. Raising another super working base once more, making huge obliteration Pandora. Among the fresh debuts in the boat is Colonel Quaritch, who has been cloned into a Navi body and with his recollections transferred from before his demise. Accordingly, Quaritch can't recall his death on account of Jake yet is simply ready to remember the occasions before and his wrathful mission to wipe out Pandora once more. Jake drives an essential guerrilla activity against the RDA supply lines, debilitating them. In one of the tasks, Lok, who resists Netam and is anxious to show what him can do as a Navi hero, attempts to help Jake in fight yet is injured. Jake protects and trains him to not imperil his own well-being by being wild. That evening, while at the same time keeping an eye on his injuries, Neytiri serenely reminds Jake to be not excessively unforgiving with Lok, to which Jake communicates his anxiety as a dad for the well-being of his youngsters. In the meantime, the retaliatory strike on the RDA supply lines doesn't agree with Quaritch, who starts a hunt mission to kill Jake. Unbeknownst to them, Quaritch and his group are in the area investigating the site where Quaritch finds his human remaining parts. An attentive Lok sees an engagement follows and Quaritch's crew catches Jake's youngsters. Jake and Neytiri show up in time and free the greater part of them, yet Bug is taken by Quaritch, who remembers him as his child. On board the boat, the RDA attempts to force data about Jake from Bug, whom declines. Evolving procedure, Quaritch tends to Bug as his child and furthermore to make sense of more about the Navi in return for his opportunity on his side. Despite the fact that unagreeable and uninformed about Quaritch's genuine mission, realizing the risk Bug's information on his whereabouts stances to their well-being and furthermore to keep away from another calamity, Jake persuades a hesitant Neytiri and his family to oust themselves from the Amatakaya tribe and retreat toward the eastern seaboard of Metkayina, a coral reef island whose faction and way of life is adjusted to Pandora's seagoing natural surroundings. Jake gives his main mantle to his replacement and passes on altogether to Metkayina. Once showed up, they are welcomed by the tribe boss Donowari and his better half Rono, who is suspicious of them at first. Be that as it may, Jake makes sense of their circumstance and they are consented to remain and given cover. Despite the fact that a few tribesmen ridicule Jake and his youngsters for their hereditary human legacy, the family learns the methods of the reef individuals, gaining the appreciation of them. Kiri is captivated with the oceanic existence of Metkayina and fosters an otherworldly bond with the ocean and its animals, while Lok gets to know Xiria. While adjusting to their new climate, Lok gets into a battle with Xiria's sibling Aonung when he pokes a rough fun at Kiri and him of their blended human genealogy. Jake counsels his child for his way of behaving. At Jake's demand, Lok gets back to apologize to Aonung and his companions. Be that as it may, they tempt him to an excursion into the region of a perilous ocean hunter, the Aquila, and leave him abandoned. The Aquila attempts to go after Lok. Nonetheless, Lok is saved by and gets to know Payakan, a Julkun, a keen and pacifistic cetacean species whom the Metkayina think about their profound family. Lok can speak with Payakan through marking and eliminates an old spearhead from the monster's right blade. Upon his revisitation of Metkayina, boss Donowari, who became mindful of Aonung's deceiving of Lok, requests that the previous apologize to Lok. Nonetheless, Lok assumes the fault himself, winning Aonung's fellowship. He is additionally informed that Payakan is an outsider among his species. In the interim, out traveling to a branch off of the Tree of Spirits, Kiri joins with it to meet her mom, however experiences a brutal seizure. She is mended by Rono, however when Jake calls Norm Spellman and Max Patel for help, Quaritch can follow them to the archipelago where the reef individuals reside. Carrying Bug with him, he lays hold of a whaling vessel which is hunting Jewel-coons to gather their cerebrum proteins for making hostile to maturing cures. Quaritch starts to fiercely scrutinize the native clans about Jake's area. Bombing that, he arranges the whaling team to wantonly kill the Jewel-coons to draw Jake out. Loke intellectually connects with Payakan and discovers that the Jewel-coon was projected out on the grounds that he conflicted with the methods of his species and went after the whalers who killed his mom. At the point when the meat Kaina learn of the Jewel-coon butchers, Loke takes off to caution Payakan, trailed by his kin, Siraya and Aonung. They find Payakan being pursued by the whalers, and Loke, yet seeing his spirit sibling arrest, Payakan assaults the whalers, setting off a battle which kills the majority of the group and fundamentally harms the vessel, making it sink. Netaeum salvages Loke and Bug, yet is lethally shot. Jake faces Quaritch, who involves Kiri as a prisoner. At the point when Neytiri does likewise with Insect, Quaritch at first denies his child, yet stops when Neytiri cuts Bug on the chest. Bug finds and saves Quaritch, however passes on him because of his savagery towards the Na'vi and putting his objective to kill Jake's family over being his dad and turning into a decent man. Driving him back to rejoin Jake's loved ones. After Netaeum's memorial service, Jake and his family choose to for all time stay with the meat Kaina.